Let's have a look at Netflix and see what movement we've got in the downward direction and when we might experience some friction, some resistance. I'll run my first trend line up on that extension, see if we can find a retracement. You can see that current move here at 382. It's just a shallow one, and we might experience some sideways movement for some time or a significant bounce with upward projection. Just surface level, looking at this chart, there's really nothing to go off. There's only one previous move that we can compare to, and we will run a comparison and see if something happens on this trend-based fib extension. So I'll make this move, this measured move, take that second click, and we'll shift this point roughly up into the same location. You can see it's these numbers on the right-hand side, which is handy, and you can change that settings within the TradingView app, and we'll just line that up quite accurately with that top range at the all-time high. And it would be nice as well to change the color, so I'll line that up with white and we'll see if there's any overlap. It may be good just to offset it, just in case the numbers or the lines rub each other out if they do stack perfectly. I don't think there's anything that stacks really quite nicely on this move, but we do have some form of exhaustion appearing at that 0.15 to 0.618 on the extension, which lines up with that deep retracement zone at 707 on this leg here. So we might experience that. We'll line up with the MACD and the RSI and see what happens, but it will take some time, I'm assuming, in case this does come down. However, having said that, that measured move, I believe, took 188 days. From this point to that point, we've got 210. And I do shift this across 210 days. Something to go off, but it's not the only measured move on the time that we would take. We would go into the past and see, even though there's nothing significant in relation to the exponential growth in comparison to what we're experiencing now. However, if we change the log scale, you'd be able to see a lot easier, but we definitely can find those downward trends, and that's happened over, say, 300 or 400 days from this point to that point, and also from there to there. And we push them out and we find perfect projection, and we find an average and see what we're looking at. That will be the quickest turnaround that Netflix has ever experienced. We will track back and I will extend those movements just to show you potentially what and how long we could be waiting for Netflix to be going downwards until we have a turnaround. So we have 544 days. There is a movement here which happens over 322 days. It's nearly a year. That's nearly 2 years, this first move. And then we've got another period of downward trend, 441. The next one, of course, we just did before at 210. I'll shift these across just to illustrate how long we could be waiting, but it's pretty much textbook at that point in time where there could be a point of change, and it's happening in this region. So if we get that rectangle out, we basically are looking time-wise at a turnaround in the upward momentum, unless something significant has happened with Netflix that are more affecting the fundamentals. And that is what we're working with. And I'll push that out because I don't want this to line up with a fib extension, but that's what we've got. So all the way up until 4th of January 2027, if we do experience downward progression, and how many days do we have left? So 336 days if we want to match up with the most previous downward trend, and that would happen in January 2027. So the start of next year, if you want to wait. But having said that, it could definitely take a longer period of time to go in that downward progression, especially if we are going to look at these deeper zones of that $27 mark, which is what I would love to see for a lot of other people to find a really good opportunity and purchase. It's just a shame that someone purchased right here at $134.06. So something that you can definitely prevent happening if you do get into Fibonacci. I strongly believe that is a solid way to find good, solid entry points. And that's what I'm trying to highlight here. I'm just trying to illustrate what Fibonacci can draw for you. And for me, what I'm seeing is a value zone at that 27.10. Of course, this is subjective. And I believe at this range here from that 54 to 48, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you about these levels because I'm just not. You have to do your own research and find out your own method. But here we go. And as this bounces off and experiences rejections and all this, that, and the other, this is all going to change, really. Well, fundamentally, these two will never change. But as this plays out, hopefully, in that sideward movement, you never know, new extensions are going to come forth, and you're going to find stronger confluences in certain areas. So fingers crossed for the people that want to buy, that they're that we do see further downward pressure. If you do dip your feet in at that one measured move mark that we have here, there's plenty of support to create a high possibility that we do actually experience a significant bounce in the upward direction. Who knows what's going to happen, especially when you look at that RSI and MACD. They are pointing towards being oversold. So it's totally up to you. No financial information here. It's just showing you how Fibonacci works and the power it has to help you make mechanical decisions and take the emotion out of trading.